Well, welcome back everybody. Good to have you guys here. Coming at you from the new lab. If you guys are tracking, some of you have probably watched the last video. If you haven't, we've moved a long way. In fact, you might say we've moved to the polar opposite of where we once were. That's right, we're East Coasters now. I guess I just missed the snow, winter sports, snowboarding, hockey. But yes, we're on the East Coast now. We're all the way out here, so I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of an update. But don't worry, we've brought the toys with us. War rig is here, got the kids stuff, got the wipes in the back. It still needs a carburetor. We're working on that. But it's finally time to get working on these things again. I spent the better part of 2 months working on the house, kind of getting settled in, getting up to speed at work, all that fun stuff. But now we're catching up, so it's time to get back in here. Another little update, if you guys aren't already tracking, if you check on Instagram or Threads, as it's called now, Facebook, you guys have probably seen the stories. I've sold Randy Savage. Randy is gone. So Project Randy Savage is no longer mine. It belongs to a guy named Matt. He's from Massachusetts. Really nice guy, came all the way out here, picked up Randy. It's going to a good home. I think it's being paired with a 250R, so he's going to be out riding the trails with that thing. I'll probably see him again because he rides around here. Cool guy, so I'm excited it went to him. Have fun with it, man. But with that being said, now that Randy's gone, made a little bit of room so that I could work on something else. Let me show you what that something else is. And there it is. We're picking up another project in the two-wheel variety. What we have here is a 2022 CRF 450. This one happens to be in the RX flavor. So this one is kind of the cross-country model of the motocross bike. Differences really being, got a bigger fuel tank. I think this one's 1.6 gallons. A little bit different suspension settings, a little bit softer engine settings, I think. As far as I know, maps are a little bit different on here. It has traction control and electric start. That's right, we're back to electric start. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same bike, minus the tires are a little bit different. This is going to be an 18-inch rear, so there's a little bit more meat on these tires. A little bit softer as we're running through the trails, but it should be a really fun project. Now, the reason why I picked this thing up, some of you are probably screaming at the TV screen right now going, "Where's the quads? Why would you give up Randy for that thing?" Oh, come on! I know, Randy was awesome, but I've got a really cool plan for this. Over the years, I've really gotten into the desert racing. You guys have probably seen a ton of that stuff. It is absolutely incredible. It's got me hook, line, and sinker right now, I can tell you that. I have another desert build coming. That'll be a quad, but I'm also a huge fan of some of the Baja bikes, some of these SLR Hondas, the Dakar bikes. You guys have seen Skylar Howes and Ricky Brabeck and people like that. Incredible builds. These are really cool bikes, especially the SLR Hondas. For some reason, that bike just grabbed me. I really love the way those bikes look, the way they work. They're a little bit different. They're a CRF 450X. So it has a 6th gear and they do some different things to it to tune it. That thing is pulling about 105 miles an hour across the desert for 1,000 miles. That's incredible in and of itself. But I wanted to build something kind of like that, a little bit of a replica, if you will, but we're going to do it with this RX instead of an X. Everything out here on the East Coast a little bit tighter, more trails, single track, stuff like that. I really want to explore some of that, but things I have planned for it. So up here we have a 1.6 gallon tank. We already know that, but I'm going to swap that out. What we're going to do instead is this. And a Cherubi's 3.1 gallon tank. This thing is absolutely massive. Comes with everything I need. We can mount it up, and it comes with a quick fill adapter cap. So what that is under here, you guys can't see it. There's screws and a full adapter plate that bolts down. You might be able to see it under there. There's a rubber gasket and everything. So if I so choose, I can take this conventional cap off and put a quick fill on there, like the IMS quick fill nozzle on it. We'll worry about that later, but I wanted to extend the range of this thing, so I got this at Cherubi's 3.1 gallon tank. I know I could have gone with IMS. IMS is a great company. They make good stuff. I use their tanks on all the quads that we've built, but The price tag was a little bit more for the IMS, so I went with the Acerbis. I cheaped out a little bit, but it's still a good tank. I've used it before. I put it on that KTM you guys saw just a little while ago. That's a big tank, and if anything, I should be able to get close to 100 miles on a tank, which is awesome. I want to be able to do long distance rides on this thing. So that's one of the reasons why I went with the Acerbis 3.1. Save some money, tons of fuel mileage. It's going to be great. The reason why I went with the natural color is so that I can actually see the fuel level in there. So when I fill it, I can actually see that thing as it's sipping fuel all the way down if I have to worry about coming back to refuel. That's just kind of the whole point of that. Plus, I think it'll look sick on here. Don't worry, I'll show you guys. Something else we're doing. So you guys can see this was the previous generation CRF. So the 2021 through 2024. And in 2025, they updated the plastics. So that's one thing we're going to do. We're going to get the 2025 to 2026 look, which UFO has us handled on that. We're going to use these UFO plastics. The only problem I'm going to run into, and I'll show you guys, I already have the other fenders on the way, because with this Acerbis tank, I have to use the R plastics. The RX is a little different. Because at the factory, the RXs come with all the bolts on the outside with this different tank. The R comes with this bolt inside here. So the bolt is in a different location right here, so I have to get the R plastics. I went ahead and ordered those. This is just what came with the kit, so I'm gonna have to swap those out anyway. But we're gonna update this whole thing to look like a 2025, which is gonna look sick. Another thing I have to do, this one came with a lowering link on it, so I had to get rid of that. I've already started tinkering with it, as you can see. I've got the stock links back in. I'm waiting for a new bearing cup because one was actually pretty mangled. Previous owner must have been in here bashing on it a little bit. So it's a little bit mangled. I didn't want to put that back in, so I ordered a fresh one. Re-grease the bearings, we're going to put that all back together. I also have a Hinson clutch coming. Difference I'm going to do with this one versus most of the Hinsons that I usually use, I'm going to use what's called the momentum clutch basket. A lot of you guys know what that is. They used to make them for the TRXs, but they don't make them anymore. The CRFs, you can still get them. It's a steel clutch basket. It's heavier, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want this thing flaming out in the woods. I don't want it stalling out, so I put a little bit of weight in the clutch basket with that steel clutch basket. The rest of it will still be the billet aluminum, same clutch plates and springs, but that basket will carry more momentum, hence the name, so that when you're rolling through the woods, if you got to pull in the clutch, that engine's still spinning pretty fast so that you don't have the engine flaming out as much. It's got a bunch of inertia built up in that clutch basket so that when you dump the clutch back out, it should have enough inertia to pull that thing back through. So you don't have like those super light clutches that I always put in, the full billet-proof clutches. They're really fast revving, but they tend to flame out because they don't have all that weight. I could do a flywheel weight on the other side, do it on the stator side. But this one, I can get the whole clutch together, and I might as well just put a fresh clutch in here because this one's stock. And I've heard that these Honda clutches can be finicky on these CRFs, these older ones, if you don't stay on top of the maintenance. So I'm going to try to eliminate some of that with a better clutch basket. We'll see how it goes. Now, to be fair, this thing was in really good shape. The guy took care of it. It only has about 25 hours on it. He bought it as a 2022 leftover in 2023. It's been one owner. I have the title. It's actually in good shape. There's a few signs of, trail rash and stuff like that where you got the telltale sign of a loop out right here, a little fold in the fender, but it's not too bad. A few dings in the exhaust. We're just going to leave that exhaust anyway. We'll worry about a pipe later. And then a little bit of rash down here on the bottom of the swing arm. It's really nothing crazy. I can barely even feel it running my fingers across. There's just a few nicks. Not a big deal. Otherwise, this thing's in great condition. Change the oil all the time, runs great, sounds good, and should be ready to rock as soon as we get her together. It's going to be mostly cosmetic, fuel tank, change that linkage back up, and I'm actually going to set the suspension for myself. At some point, I'm going to yank the forks off, yank that shock off, and Factory Connection has a bunch of locations. I think there's 3 or 4 out here on the East Coast, so I'm going to send it to them. I've used them before. If you guys remember that first bike I ever built, I think it was the 05 RMZ 450. I built a Supermoto out of it. First video I think I ever uploaded on the channel. It's actually pretty cool to go back and see how well that video's done. I think it maybe pulled 100 views in the first 6 months of it being up there. It's whatever, I was brand new. Then all of a sudden, a year later, it had 60,000 views. People must really love supermotos. I do. I know I like riding them. But that was fun. That was a fun one to build. So maybe we'll get back to the supermotos in a little while, but right now I want to make this into a long distance Baja bike. That's kind of the whole point. Got the RX, so it's only a 5-speed, but it should be a ton of fun. It's basically the motocross model set up for cross country. That's about it. I may have to do a few things to get lighting on here at some point. We'll worry about that later. I think it should have enough juice to at least run a fan. That's one thing I definitely want to put on here is a fan. I think I can find some kits right now online that I might be able to just splice into the power to the battery, but I might have to worry about the stator after that. We'll cross that bridge once we get there. But I mainly want to just get into making those few modifications and then get out and ride this thing. The snow is actually melting right now. It's a balmy 36 degrees today. So the snow's actually been melting away. It'll cool off again here shortly, but we shouldn't get too much snow. We should be able to get out and ride some more, which I'm really looking forward to. Get out in the woods again. Oh, I missed it. For now, let's see how she starts. That's the easy button for sure. Engine sounds fantastic. It really has been taken care of. I don't have to worry about a whole lot down there. We'll cross that bridge when we get to that as well. At some point I'll probably have to do a top end or something. But for now, let's just ride the thing, you know? Something I've been very interested to play with is these map switches. So if I press and hold, all right, you guys see the double flash? That tells me we're in map 2, which is kind of the mellow map. These 450s rip, man, they got a lot of power, so that's kind of like the mellow map, really tame. Then if I press and hold again, there we go, we get 3 flashes. That tells me we're in map 3, the most aggressive. That's the most throttle response. Yeah, it's like instant. Then if I press and hold one more time, we get 1 flash. We're back into map 1. So this is like your all around ride it anywhere map. It's a little bit more response than 2. Should be a little bit edgier than map 2, but much more mellow than map 3. And then we also have traction control. There. Turn traction control down to 1. So traction control, this is the least interactive traction control. So it interferes with the engine's power the least amount in map 1. Then we're in map 2. Traction control on in map 2. Now we're off. I'll mess with that a little bit more later. Engine kill. As you can see, the thing sounds good. It runs good. I'm excited to get playing on this thing and get it all together. I can't wait for you guys to see this thing when it's done. We'll get some fresh graphics slapped on here. Those are already coming. I didn't get them from Dirt Fiend, who I always get my graphics from. I've actually got some coming for War Rig over there. War Rig's going to have some fresh graphics. That's going to be a whole new look. I can't wait for you guys to see that. So it's going to look completely different than it is right now. But this, going to get a splash of color from a company called Throttle Syndicate. Like I said earlier, I really, really like the SLR Hondas, so I ripped them off. Sorry guys, I ripped off your graphics. I love them. I'm going to put them on here. A little bit of my own flavor, but I love those graphics on these CRFs. It's just such a clean, iconic look. Those bikes are legendary at this point. They've won so many Bajas, so I wanted to kind of duplicate that on here. I changed up a few of the sponsors, and then the seat will look just a little bit different, but other than that, it should look like an SLR Honda Baja bike. I can't wait to get this thing out. I also really look forward to taking this thing out and riding with Odyssey Off-Road. At some point, I'll make trips back out to the desert. We'll do long rides. We'll be able to put like 100 miles on. Maybe a little less of that because we'll probably be getting after it. But this will be really fun to take back out on long trips and just go rip around. Like I said, it'll be kind of the easy button. And it's kind of a new avenue. It's something I'm not very good at. Not very good at bikes. I like riding them, but I've always been a quad guy. it's kind of a new flavor. So we're gonna mess with it and see how it goes. But as far as updates, guys, that's all I have. As you can see, we're in the new lab, but we aren't quite home free yet. We got a ton of stuff still packed in here. We haven't moved everything out of here because we're still doing flooring and ripping carpet out and stuff like that. So I still have a ton of things in the way, but we cleared enough of a path that I can at least work on a few things. I can get started on this bad boy, replacing plastics and all that. But should be back at you guys with some regular content here very soon. And hopefully I see a lot more of you guys here in the near future. Sorry I missed the Durham town trip. A bunch of those guys went out there and had a good time. I've always wanted to go. I even live near there, but I didn't make it. I couldn't make it this time. So they look like they had a good time. We'll have to go back. But that's it as far as updates, guys. Thanks for coming out here. I'm glad for any of you guys that stick around and stick with me. I've got some of you that really hop in the comments and encourage me. I'm glad you guys are there. Thank you so much. As for right now, that's it. That's all I got for today, but hopefully I'll see you guys here in just a couple weeks. Whew, I gotta get out of here. A lot of fumes.